All right, so this is my final impressions of my semester for this school year. Featuring Liz. She's not in the video, but she'll be asking me questions based off the assignment to go by.
What is your name?
I'm Tyler, but my professor already knows that because I'm going to post this on Canvas. Well, first YouTube, and then post the YouTube link on Canvas.
But people on YouTube don't know who you are.
This video is not going to generate, like, buzz media hype. It's not going to go viral.
You don't know that.
Okay, well, if it does, then people are just going to know that I have a wonderful personality. Great.
Keep it in.
Yeah, no, keep it in. I don't care. I don't have, like, editing equipment, so it's, like, a problem.
Okay. Right. Who were your professors and what did they teach?
So first I took Composition 1 with Dr. Osborne. Then I took Learning Frameworks 1 with Dr. Gentry. Then I took Principles of Macroeconomics with Professor Kiesel. And then finally History 1 with Professor Herben.
Okay. What was your easiest and hardest assignments in all your classes?
Okay, so for English, the easiest assignments to do were the morning, just like morning writing refreshment things that we had to do on Google Docs.
Yeah, the journal.
Yeah, just the morning journal. Just type up something real quick, kind of explain just what's going on, and it was cool. You know, you show up to class on time. You write your little thing, you turn it in, you get a good grade, and then you start like developing a little bit of a grade pool, I guess. Yeah. And then the hardest assignment by far in English was definitely the research project. I struggled a lot with that. I had to go to tutoring on 3 separate occasions just to feel like I was turning in something that was actually worthwhile. Why are you laughing? Did you not struggle with that assignment or what?
No, just continue.
Okay. And then when it came to Dr. Gentry's class, the easiest assignment, I think the easiest assignment for me was actually doing the faculty interview, because once I had established that I had like just a deeper connection with Dr. Herben, you know, with him being a veteran and a father and just somebody that I could see as like a role model that I could look up to, it was really easy to just sit down and talk to him for almost half an hour, just asking him about his life and how he feels about being a professor. It was fun. And then her hardest assignment, I think, was probably the final research project, because I really suck at making like infographics online. I was really struggling to find like pictures and putting it all together, and then the whole submission part was like a struggle too, just because like you could copy the link, but you couldn't download it as a PDF unless you had like a paid subscription, which I didn't want to do. So I made it a Microsoft PDF, submitted that, but then it was just like a paper of the assignment posted on like a Word document. And I was like, this looks terrible. I'm just gonna post the link to the infographic that I made. So that was a struggle for me. And then when it came to Principles of Macroeconomics, the easiest assignments were probably the ones where we had to go and make pictures or explain ourselves when it came to economic theory. And for me, it was really easy to just kind of understand exactly what I was talking about. Just kind of with like my financial background, I was able to really just visualize in my head what I wanted to put on this piece of paper, take a picture of it, submit it, and then got 100s most of the time. Actually, I think, yeah, every time up until there was this one assignment that I did in like 15 minutes, just because I wanted to, but then I still got a 92. So, you know, I obviously I still like understood, what I was talking about. I just missed a couple things here and there because it did it in 15 minutes, but I'm okay with the 92. The hardest, for sure, were definitely the exams in his class. I remember, studying for 4 days, asking him questions after class, going over my notes, writing really good notes, reading the book, doing the smart books over again. And I think I overstudied at that point and ended up getting a 64 on my first exam. When prior to that, every other assignment that I had turned in for that class was a 100, and I struggled so hard. Then the second time around, I got an 80. The third time around, for the third exam, I got a 70. And for this last time around, for his final exam, I've already done the calculations. I could get a flat 0 and still have an A in that class, which is really cool because I have a 106. So I could lose 16 points and still be like good, which is awesome. Obviously, I'm still going to take the exam, but just it's cool to do grade calculations just to see like if I could really screw this up or if I could, kind of take it easy, which I think is really cool because I'll get into that later because that brings up some stuff about like other questions. And then for history, the easiest assignments were probably the quizzes. They weren't ever really too hard. It was just kind of straightforward. You read the book, and then basically like all of like the key points of the chapter are the questions. Really easy to just kind of memorize who did this, what did, like when did this happen, and then just click an answer. Hardest assignment for Dr. Herbin was probably the ISLO exercise. That was like a full-on research project that needed like Chicago-style citations, which I'm not very like versed in. So I didn't give myself enough time to like adequately do it up to my standards, just because I wasn't expecting it to be as in-depth as it was, but I was able to turn it in and still end up getting a good grade. So yeah, that sucked. But that was primarily because I didn't give myself ample time to do it in the way that I would have wanted to, but I was able to still get something going. Yeah. All right.
Okay. How have you adapted this semester?
Wow. All right. So my biggest problems growing up throughout school was that I would procrastinate so much that when it came to even like opening up an assignment to take a look at it, I wouldn't have the time to be able to do this assignment correctly and get a good grade, and that really reflected in my grades. I struggled a lot with trying to somehow pass a class when you got nothing but C's and D's the entire way there. It's hard. So with how I've developed in life and how I wanted to conduct myself going through this first semester, I wanted to make it a point to not put myself in those situations, which is exactly what I did. I made sure to work really hard like throughout the entire semester, so that way when it came to finals, I didn't have that anxiety that if I don't do well in this final, I'm going to fail this class. That's not the case at all for any of my classes, and I feel proud of myself in a way because I was able to work hard and not procrastinate, get my assignments turned in on time. That was quality work, and feel good that at the end of the semester I did everything the right way and was able to prove to myself that I could do things better when it came to academics.
You did good. What have you learned about yourself?
I've learned that it feels weird to give myself this credit just because like I don't believe it inwardly, but outwardly I'm a lot more resilient than I give myself credit for, because you of people all know, you of all people know that a lot of things went wrong just in life this semester, and obviously there are still some things that are unresolved that still need to be taken care of, but as far as being able to manage all that's happened, to include stuff that doesn't need to be shared. That's just kind of personal, but a lot of things just have. There have been a lot of ups and downs this semester, drastically. Really high, right, there's some really high highs and really low lows, but I was still able to maintain good grades. I was still able to go to work, and make a little bit of money for our family, and then I was still able to. I feel like I was still able to, dedicate enough time to you and our friends and my family to, not lose sight of what's important even when things are tough. And somehow still get good grades on top of all of that. It was hard. It wasn't easy. But I had to dig deep, and I made something happen, and just gotta keep going.
How was your academic experience?
So it's interesting because I was super nervous to start college, just because I had been in the military for so long and I had just been kind of removed from academia for so long that I didn't know how it was going to go, especially with how hard things were for me in high school. But then it's interesting because the least stressful thing about being a college student, at least for me in my life, was actually my classes and the workload that I had. And that's not to say that like my professors were just taking it easy. There were definitely lots and lots of things to do throughout all of my classes, all of which presented their own unique challenges. But for me, I looked forward to being able to go to class, learn something new, turn in an assignment that I was proud of, and then get a good grade. And so as far as my academic year goes, I loved it. It was the least stressful part of being a college student, was going to class. That's crazy. But yeah, it's been an interesting journey. I really enjoy school so far, and I'm going to continue to pursue it for the sake of progressing as a person, getting an education, but then also being able to establish myself in a professional career to help provide a quality life for me, you, and our daughter.
Okay. What will you continue into next semester?
I'm going to continue to work hard and attempting to hold my head up high. I don't know what challenges next year are going to bring. That'll be my first full year that I'm living my life as an adult that's no longer in the military, and then still working on getting a proper VA disability rating, and then settling all of the scores that I currently have. It's going to be interesting, but I'm going to keep my head up high, and I'm going to keep working hard for the sake of me, you, and our, as of right now, unnamed daughter. Yeah.
Last question. Would you still love me if I was a worm?
If you were a worm, I would be a worm too, so we could live happy little worm lives together.
Okay. Good job.
Thank you. Yeah! Ooh!